Hello, welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics, Non-Classics. This is episode number... I want sure I got this right. It is episode 333, and Doubleshot. Yeah, it's a double again. It is... There we go. Doubleshot 262. Okay? 2 trades. Yeah, back at 2 trades, unlike the last episode where it was 3 trades. Okay? First up is Superman, Panic in the Sky. This is a new printing of an old trade. Yeah. And this contains Action Comics 674 to 676, Avengers Superman 488 to 490, Superman Volume 2 issues 65 to 67, and Superman, the Man of Steel, number 9 to 11. Roger Stern writes the Action Comics issues. Jerry Ordway does Mentions to Superman. Dan Jurgens obviously does Superman. And Louise Simonson does Man of Steel. Now, pretty much when it comes to this crossover, it only takes up the first 7 issues of this trade. The remaining 5 issues are just a group of standalone issues that just happened to came right after this crossover. They're all really good stories. The story with this particular crossover is that apparently with Justice League disbanded, there's no team to protect the Earth. This is during the very brief period of time it was that the team was disbanded. The team did quickly bounce back. Brainiac decided to invade the planet with War World. When people think of War World, people think of Mongol. Mongol is referencing it, but he doesn't make a physical appearance in the actual story. But the story is just purely amazing. It's just Superman teaming up with all the DC superheroes to stop Brainiac and his forces. Now, this was the first major crossover of the Superman titles since post-crisis. First really big one. They had a couple prior to this. One that involved a legion of superheroes, the other one involving Batman called Dark Knight over Metropolis. But those were small scale ones. This was actually much more bigger. And just by sheer coincidence, that 7 months after this crossover concluded, we had the Superman. But this is good. It shows some artwork. Yeah, some classic. Oh, it's early 90s. Oh, also, the cover of this trade is a gatefold cover, and this is Brainiac. That's how he was depicted after Crisis of Earth, not the way he was depicting the Brainiac story. This came out years before the Brainiac story. I give this 9.5 out of 10. This is just purely amazing. Next is Iron Man, Disassembled. This trade is called Avengers Disassembled Iron Man, containing issues... Hold on just a second. I had to get a calculator for this. I just want to be sure about this. So this is 420 Iron Man number 428 to 434. Excuse me, 429 to 434. Yeah, that's what it is. I just wanted to be sure about that. Now, this story, this by fact, it says Disassembled. The whole story takes place prior to the events of Avengers Disassembled. It's written by John Jackson Miller and Mark Riches, with artwork by Tony Harris, Scott Killings, and Jorge Lucas. In a list of credits with the books they like Mark Riches in Northville, John Jackson Miller did Crimson Dynamo. Tony Harris did Starman, obviously. Avengers was Scott Keeley did Avengers, and Jorge Lucas did Mystique. Now, this is just some of the events that pretty much, it's like the whole point of the storyline is just wrapping up just the final storyline prior to the relaunch done by Warren Ellis. Now, the story itself is great. The villain is very one-dimensional. Now, you have some stuff Iron Man did with the mission of the Avengers, him being Secretary of Defense. Yeah, this was about a few years after he became Secretary of Defense, at least a couple years after he became Secretary of Defense. He was only Secretary of Defense in the comics for 2 years before he had to resign due to the events of Avengers Disassembled. Yeah, and apparently the Senator basically is not allowing him to tell his fellow Avengers about this thing called Alpha Arsenal. It's just a robot. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Ultimo. Reminds you of him, but it's not. Yes, in case you're wondering, the 4 Avengers who were with him on this cover do appear in this very storyline. Captain America appears in here very briefly. He doesn't appear in this thing at all, and now Iron Man goes into hiding after the events of the story. Now, basically, his girlfriend, which had been his girlfriend since the start of this volume, Rumiko, I think her name is. Yeah, her father was the person who became Tony Stark's business partner briefly. If you have read Spider-Man 29, Stark was known as Stark Furia. Yeah, Rumiko Furia, basically, so he was dating. He was dating her pretty much for the majority of this particular era of Iron Man. It was a pretty interesting era. Now, I do have some bad news when it comes to this volume. Not every single issue has been put to trade. There's about 30 issues not been put to trade. I don't know why. My friend Edgar is currently reviewing this volume of Iron Man on his channel. He's not currently doing reviews at the moment. He's doing Let's Plays. But he's going to resume doing reviews next year. But he's currently taking a break from Iron Man. Now, for this volume, he's only done the first few issues. He's still, when he gets to this point, he'll probably give his own perspective on this particular storyline. Since the fact that the majority of this takes place prior to it, and the epilogue takes place right after Avengers Disassembled, with a statue of the Scott Lang Ant-Man during the very brief period of time the character was dead. Yeah, but the story is great. The villain is very one-dimensional, and I don't think that what happened at the end of this thing is followed up in the next volume. As far as I can tell, nope. Not immediately, anyways. Can't think of it if it actually really is, because the writer, John Jackson Miller, does succeed Warren Ellis as the writer of Iron Man after he does the Extremis storyline. But this is still pretty decent for what it is, and I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I'll take a half point out because the villain is not very good. A guy named Clarence Ward. Yeah, which kind of means that he might be related to Grant Ward from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Who the heck knows? It's an old trade. It's only like 12 years old. I think it's 10. It might be 11. Let's see. The trade was released in, 2004. Yep. It's a 12-year-old trade. Yeah, it's exactly 12 years old. Like I said, 8.5 out of 10. My friend Edgar will basically be able to get to this eventually when he resumes his the rest of his Iron Man reviews. He will eventually get to this. It might take him a little bit while just to get to this because, well, he did after all complete volumes 2 and 7 for Iron Man. But overall right now, the current volume that Bendis is doing, it's the second time, the second volume Bendis has done for it. That is actually volume 8, because you have the 4 volumes. You have Invincible Iron Man, which counts as volume 5. The Iron Man volume there by Karen Gillian, that's volume 6. And the 2 volumes Bendis has done currently right now is volumes 7 and 8. But still good. You get a good parent. You get good stuff with Happy Hogan and Pepper Potts. So at least you have good supporting character. You have the armor supporting characters. Good spotlight here. Though some of the stuff in here, like him going to hiding, that does lead into what goes on during the Extrema storyline. But as far as I can tell, as for stuff with the villain, that's never followed up on. Yep. So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode, which will be episode 334 and Doubleshot number 263. Till then, I will see you there.